Hi there, you lovely lot, and welcome to Pat's Procrastination, episode 68, brought to you by the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel. Please do not forget to be rating, reviewing, and subscribing, as they say. Now, it is the morning after a Sunday win. It's Tuesday, I think, but I have three things. Now, I'm not normally a tell you type of person. Everybody finds their own way, that kind of thing. But there are three things that I'm going to tell you this morning, folks. Firstly, do not bring jam on toast to your desk when you are preparing for a podcast. Doesn't go very well. Secondly, don't forget to be going over to patspropaganda.com for all our articles. And also, if you like your Patriots podcast, I do hope that you are partaking in a particular show known as a Clare Perspective of Patriots podcast. It was out last week. Should be out maybe the end of this week, fingers crossed. So yeah, I do hope that you're partaking in that as well. So I guess I didn't really tell you anything. The jam thing, definitely the jam thing. But anyway, here we are, folks. As I said, episode 68. I am Clazzy Clare, and he is Chudders. Chudders, how are things with you?
What jam was it?
It was strawberry jam.
Strawberry jam.
It was strawberry jam.
Oh dear.
Jam and paper, like plenty of paper on your desk. Just does it, and on your fingers, and then your computer. Yeah, early in the morning as well, jam and early morning and not very much caffeine and lots of paper make for a really poor combination. And now I feel like I need to check myself to make sure I'm not covered in jam or something. I think I'm okay. Welcome,
Wonderful.
folks, to Procrastination.
So what did you think of the game, Claire?
It was messy.
Are we talking about? Sorry, we're talking about the game or your jam?
Yeah, now they go. No. We've left the jam alone now. We've got over that. It was messy. It wasn't the greatest of wins. However, as I predicted, the curse in Miami is broken. And right now, I'm like, yeah, that's, to be honest, after the game, that was the thing that I was most just happy about. There's definitely things to break down. And as we go through the week and we progress towards the Steelers, which I know we'll talk about and stuff like that, and other shows do the same. At the time, it was like, we broke the curse. Told you we broke the curse. Curse is broken. Miami curse is broken. So just screw it. It's fine. Curse is broken. Vrabel broke the curse. I love Vrabel. The end. But now we've got the X's and O's and the particulars and some stats and things like that. So yeah, we're going to be cool, calm, and collected. We're going to Drake May it now. Cool, calm, and collected. However.
Okay, so let's start with offense then. You're happy with his performance?
No. How about you? Stop throwing it to me all
I
the time.
didn't play.
I have many
I mean, I wanted
to,
time. But I didn't play.
Probably could have, maybe some people would say you could have done with being a kicker. See, I'm not so sure, but you know, I might be Team Borogali still.
I know.
I'm sure there's plenty of folks out there.
We know you're not
because
you were Team Romo anyway, because he came over and said hello to you.
I was torn because I wanted the whole positive drafting situation. You draft the guy, he works within the system, he stays there for years, because that's the thing that they've been suffering from. So I was very much torn because I wanted that and believed in the kid still. But yeah, then I met Romo at camp and he was really nice and he was doing quite well. And a few people have said it wasn't exactly a battle per se, but they stayed with the draft guy. So yeah, the kicker thing for me this season was I was torn, but I'm probably torn most seasons because I like the guy that they draft and I also have an affinity for the if the veteran's been doing well. There's always that kind of thing, isn't there?
I mean, to be fair, that the Patriots kicking operation I thought worked quite smoothly with Cardona snapping, Bailey holding, and Patson kicking. Seemed to work quite smoothly. The trouble was they're all on the fins now. So
is Cardona on the fins? I missed that.
Did you? Oh no, I'm sure we talked about that in the year.
Yeah, but I maybe I internalized it because I didn't want to deal with it. Because I was really bad.
So back to the Pats. Let's look at offense first then. What stood out for you, Claire?
They ran the ball more and successfully. Thank goodness. Point one.
It was a lot better. Travion Henderson had quite a quiet game, to be fair,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't matter too much. Stevenson had a fairly productive game.
I'm very sorry to talk over you there, but I just wanted to throw in while we're discussing the point. Penalties. He had a few penalties as well, which isn't great.
Agreed. I think penalties is a major bugbear of the whole day, to be honest.
Yes,
but both teams could probably say the same. I'm not saying that particular Zebra crew was flag happy, but there was a lot of things to tighten up, I think, for next week and going forward on the penalty front. But no, it's a very good game for Stevenson. It was the sort of game that he had a couple of years ago. It was all purpose. I think he 54 yards on the ground and then another 88, was it, in the air? Yeah, 88.
I will tell you.
Receiving. He had a very good game. And I suppose you don't want to curse these things, but one of the major issues from the past couple of years is probably his handling. But kept the ball.
Yes, he had good ball security.
Good ball security, getting the basics right. It was improved. I thought it was an improved performance from the running game from the week before.
Yeah,
not perfect. It wasn't phenomenal. 100 yards, I think, just over 122 yards on the ground is good. It's not stellar, and I'm trying not to be negative here because I think it was a good running performance game. But coming into the season, we all thought, okay, we're going to be not necessarily a run first team, but we're going to be. Our running game should be one of our greatest strengths this year. And it was good at the weekend. It wasn't great, but it was good. That was the preface I was putting on the run game.
That was it. Okay. Oh, makes a change. So yeah, what's your positive then? I picked one. You agreed.
I think Drake May had a good game. Again, I'm using the word good. I hope if we can set that as his benchmark, that's the level he hits consistently now. I think we've got a very good quarterback. We've got our franchise quarterback. Hopefully now we can start to see a bit of consistency. The first three drives, scoring off all three of those, was obviously a great start. It then quietened up a bit, to be fair, but it was, I think it was a good performance by Drake. I was pleased with it.
I think the point you made is it quietened off a bit, and obviously the Finns were more successful. They have some really super good players. I completely forgot how that they've got some quality on defense as well. Now, I know obviously people discuss how the Finns are a bit of a dumpster fire at the moment. Apologies if there's any Finns fans watching. I'm sure there isn't.
I don't apologise to you. You lost. If you've come to our show thinking that we're going to help you out, you're very wrong. You lost. Curse is broken. Go sack your manager.
No, because then it won't be funny listening to his conferences, because that's crazy. No, but my point is, there's on paper then, there is definitely names there on the Finns that are quality players. And I sort of forgot about that. And then I think maybe they did for a bit and then they remembered or something. But yeah, it wasn't a complete.
They seem that I think they're a club in disarray. They don't seem that they're all pulling in the right direction and in the same direction. They're a team in disarray. I think they're out on their coach, and it's just a matter of time. It could be this week, so they got the Bills on Thursday, haven't they?
That reminds me of a huge bugbear that I probably shouldn't air. But in the UK, so this is for the UK people, so the US people can tap out just for like 3 seconds. Channel 5 now has some NFL coverage.
Didn't know that.
Oh,
what
you didn't know this? They have 2 games a week or something. They have 2 games a week or something. But when you put on the menu on the TV and words come up, they called them, the last 2 weeks, they have called the games matches, not matchups, a match. And I think that's so disrespectful to UK NFL fans, making out like we don't know what we're talking about by calling it a match. And I found that I was very annoyed at that, because it doesn't reflect well on the UK fans of the NFL who know their stuff. And there's people out there who don't, way more than me. No way, completely more than I do. And I'm annoyed at it. I can't imagine the fans who have been fans for decades and stuff and know it inside out and things like that. I just thought that was so disrespectful to us. They need to get themselves right. Okay, that's my mini rant. That nobody.
No, that's fair.
It will mean nothing to anybody really, but I just felt as a UK NFL fan, sometimes it can be difficult to get respect, and I get it. It's a sport not in our country. I get it. I get all the sort of fanatical sports stuff, and being a woman in sports can be a bit tricky sometimes as well. So when our TV station does something like that, it doesn't. I don't feel it reflected very good. So I'm very annoyed at that. Anyway, moving on.
No, that's fair.
Another positive. Landry. The Patriots spent some money in the off season. Landry and Milton Williams, and I think.
So hang on, are we jumping to defense now? Then
are we jumping? It was positives. I didn't know.
Okay, but that's fine. We'll do.
I thought we were just positives of.
Can anyone else who watches the show support me? That I've tried to instill an infrastructure here of doing the offense. We'll talk about the good and bad. Then we'll do defense. Then we'll do special teams. And every time I bring this up, Claire goes, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize what we were doing." Every week, madam. Come on, then. You roll out your positives.
No, if you still have some offensive positives, then have your offensive positives.
Well, I was going to ask you tight ends. Were you happy with their performance, their day?
Mostly. They didn't show up much, and Hunter pulled the penalties. That wasn't great. But Hooper is my underrated player of the day. So.
Oh, interesting.
Well, that's what I didn't want to say, because now
3 for 3 for 38.
Yeah. See, stop taking my stats off me, goddammit. I don't have many. I try and look intelligent, and then you just undercut me with the only
by
bits
smearing jam all over your face.
It wasn't all over my face. It just went on my fingers and on my papers. That was all. I think it went. So if anything stuck together, that's why. Oh, you've never had jam on your fingers?
I'm not really a jam person. Marmite more, which probably doesn't surprise.
What salted?
The receiving core? The receiving core. Were you happy with their day?
The receiving core.
Yeah, no one individually really stood out. Diggs had a better game than
Why
last.
don't you answer something for a change?
To get your opinion on these things is important, especially as you're about to drink a cup of tea, and I can stitch you up. So, no, I thought Diggs had a more productive game.
Did you see it, folks? He purposely wants to stitch me up. You just had evidence there that he purposely wants to stitch me up. He enjoys hanging me out to dry, stealing any statistics that I have so that I look stupid. And now, even worse, he's just admitted it. There you go, on camera.
I don't know how it made you look stupid, but yeah. No, Diggs had a much better game. The rest of the core was pretty quiet. I thought it was. It was a day really. I think Stevenson was more effective.
I was just about
to say
there was more receptions on the running backs. Technically,
yes,
the running backs were utilised more, which is fine. Is it a case of we just shaking all the rust loose on the running backs, and now this game will get the Steelers game will get the wide receivers in? Don't forget, they're slowly progressing into what they need to be. We're only week 2. It's and you'll pull a face at that, but it's true. Yeah, and they didn't necessarily utilize.
It's upward trajectory.
Is it because the Finns had a decent defense on coverage? Sorry, go on.
Well, I'm just saying it's upward trajectory. You're right. We didn't have a great week last week. Things are improved this week.
We went up by more than 10%.
Oh, is that what? Yeah. Let's say yes. Let's say yes. Let's say we went up 10%, and if we keep doing that every week. Oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're aiming for 10% every week, and by the end of the season, we're going to be 160% better than when we started. It's going to be amazing.
Nobody's going to be watching our show anymore. Everybody's just going to tap out at this nonsense.
What about the O-line? Were you pleased with their day? A couple of penalties.
Will Campbell, did you not see he had one hand on two? He had one hand on it. Oh, I'm too excited. There was 2 guys and he had a hand on each and he was blocking, and I was like, oh, yes, that's my O-lineman. I want his jersey. I was very excited, as you can probably tell. I was very excited by that. I love it. I love it. I love it. It is my jam, sticky and all. But even Vrabel kind of gave. I know he had a full start, but I had down in my notes, and I still need to really watch it again. He was pointing out the rusher, and so even Vrabel kind of gave him a pass that it wasn't. They called a full start, and I didn't think it was a full start on him. I thought it was on them. So yeah, I'm not to kind of make excuses, but I feel like it's fair in this case because he's taken some heat. That actually that wasn't him. That was him being controlled in the game. And yeah, the 2-man 1-hand blocking. Whew, I'm done.
No, I think I would say, I think generally the O-line was slightly better. There was a few penalties. Wasn't perfect. There
Agreed.
was I do think Drake May had a lot better pocket presence as well. Stepped up and into some throws rather than getting hit or trying to run away, which he did use his legs at times as well, generally pretty positively. Or was he picked up 31 yards on the day?
Because we all know you like a running quarterback.
Yeah, we do. But I thought it was, again, steps in the right direction. It was steps in the right direction. I think it feels like, and this is probably, I know we're looking at offense now, but it's almost the same for everything. It was a good win. There were some positives on all sides of the ball, but there was also not necessarily negatives, but there was rooms for improvement everywhere, nearly throughout the whole field. And not to say it was a bad performance or that it was, I'm not trying to be overly negative, but it's one of those good wins that you can come away feeling positive about the win, but then Monday morning when you put the tape on, you realize, okay, that was a nice win, but I can do better than this.
Yeah.
We collectively as a team can do better than this. And so maybe that helps sort of raise you a bit more, because then you think, okay, this wasn't my ceiling. There's more levels to go here. That was sort of the overall feeling. I wasn't getting too carried away because I do think the Dolphins are a team in disarray. So just scraping through and just beating them, albeit away, like you say, it's the first time you've beaten Tagovailoa. It's the first time we've beaten the Dolphins for a long time down there, particularly breaking the curse, as you call it. Those are all good things to have done. But in the general scheme, probably by the end of the year, you'll be looking at this Miami team who are going to be picking probably quite high up the draft with a new coach and thinking, okay, it was a nice win, but that's probably not going to be the statement. Hopefully, it's not going to be the statement win of the season.
Oh, no, not disagreeing with anything that you've said. All fair points.
So
it was just... So, come on.
No, go on. You finish your point.
When you said about how there's improvements to be made, when they put their tape in on Monday morning, they can see where they can improve. That in itself, you can take as a positive. At least they have places that it's feasible to improve. In the previous year, we had O-linemen that were third-ring O-linemen. You can't improve certain situations. That is a case of those guys, unfortunately, are at that level. You know, only so much coaching can get certain individuals to a certain level. You can look at this Miami game and say, well, we've got guys that are a certain level, and it isn't rocket science to get them to the next level or to the next type thing. So whilst it's not great that they have plenty to improve on, it's also, well, most of it, I bet you can look at as just as a regular fan, not an X's and O's, brain meld person, and see where the improvements could be made, could point them out. So whilst the negative, there's still a positive slant you can take from that, which is what I just try and do anyway. But yeah. And it is difficult because you do just want to focus on that they broke the curse. It was, what was it, 7? I like it. I love it. I love that the curse is broken. I thought Vrabel would, and my coach. I feel like singing "My Coach is Better Than Your Coach," but whatever. I won't because I can't sing.
Break some classes. So defense, you've already got some points. Go on then. Milton Williams.
I did my Landry and Milton Williams thing. Definitely, we spent the dollars and ka-ching, it worked. Williams had over 2 games. I took some stats. Woohoo! Over 2 games, Williams had 2 sacks, 9 pressures, and 3 stops, and Landry was down for 4 sacks, 10 pressures, and 7 stops over the 2 games. So, are we finally getting some value for money when we spend? Other than
Hope so.
Henry, because when they spend on that was worth it. So.
On the spend, I was thinking we've still got quite a big. We've got a lot of cap space. We could still spend if we want to before the window closes. Maybe as teams start to work out whether they're buyers or sellers.
Interesting. What would you spend on then? I don't know if there's anybody available, but if it was a bit more of an ambiguous question, what would you spend on? Where would you spend if you could only spend it in one place? Where would you spend? I know there's probably not necessarily anybody good available. But let's just play the if game. Say that's irrelevant. I know it's not, but say that's irrelevant. Just looking at it, you have dollars and you have to pick a slot. That's it. Which slot are you picking to spend the money on?
So, as always, I'll give you 2 answers. I still think
allowed to do that.
I still think the Pats are missing a number 1 receiver. Diggs was good.
Mm-hmm.
Diggs is your number 1 receiver. He's not kind of a number 1 receiver anymore, if you like. He's not a Jamar Chase, a Jefferson, and that's not me saying you got to go and get one of those 2. But Pats are still missing a seriously dominant receiver. If one of those was available, and again, I know it's talked about, and I know it's not going to happen, but it's things like if in 4 weeks' time, Dolphins realize they're going nowhere, they're replacing the coach, they're blowing it up, Tua is not the man. If it's not going to happen, but if you were able to get Waddle, something like that, or some other teams that are in a similar mix, and they realize they're rebuilding, there's a receiver, they wouldn't mind getting the money off the books. Pats will give something decent up to get him. But that's what I'd spend the money on. Is your number 1 receiver? Who's going to be available?
Yeah.
There's obviously no one out there now that is available. But
if you listen, I did preface that. Given that there's no one available, I understand that. Just looking at it on screen, what would you? There's boxes for each spot. Which box are you dropping your money in? That was it.
So
you can't split your money.
Hang on. To round off what I was saying, the second position, I really had high hopes for this linebacking core, and I've been underwhelmed by their start to the season. If that was another position that they could strengthen, then I would definitely do that if I could. Now, realistically, as I've said, the players you're going to be able to get, I'm not sure that list is going to be very high, because the other element is, even if the Finn said tomorrow we're putting Waddle on the trade block, are the Pats going to? They might win financially with what they could offer if they were going to restructure his contract, for example. But are the Pats really going to be the team that's going to give up the most draft capital to go and get that player? And the answer is probably going to be no. I'd like to think they were. So realistically, that's unlikely. So could the Patriots therefore look at their current roster, who they want to extend? Could they spend some of that cash now up front so they're not having to pay it down the line? That's the other way that they could sort of spend that money now, rather than leave it as a cap hit, or rather leave it as unspent cap, and then next year they're paying whoever's bounty, whoever's contract has got something bigger next year. Could they spend more up front now and restructuring some of those guys? Okay. We shall see. Okay. What would you do?
It wasn't. You still didn't actually answer my question, which is crazy, because you just did the thing that men do and explain that, and you did the thing that if I did, I would be told off and stuff like this, which is crazy. It was simply
tell me off, people.
Put where would you put your money? That's it. I know it's not feasible.
I just said restructure. I know
there's nobody available. Okay, fair enough. You sort of finally answered it at the end.
Yeah,
if I could throw money in a player box for them to spend a load of money on a player, it would be on the defense. It would probably be like linebacker, because they have not been, as you said, it's nowhere near been performing. Now, I want to give them a chance because that's what we've said last week. Give them a chance, and I do. I'm giving Spillane a chance to get right. But as we look at this picture right now, I would definitely be throwing my dollars over on the defensive side for now, because that isn't performing the way that we hoped. And we are a team, and whilst I know that we're talking about going forward and the coach going forward, we're an organization that's usually really good on defense. I feel uncomfortable seeing us not having a dominant defense, because it just feels so natural that the identity of the Patriots is a dominant defense. And I mean, I know obviously people say, oh, well, yeah, Tom Brady. Yeah, I fully appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. But over the years and stuff like that, that feels more of a regular constant, something normal. It's almost like we take it for granted, which is terrible, because now we're looking at it and like, see, now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying every year we've had a dominant defense. I'm just saying it's been a trend as a Patriot to see a dominant defense. That's all I mean, because we've had a defensive coach for so long, and we have a defensive coach now. Unfortunately, our DC is out due to health particulars, so hopefully he's doing okay and he comes back, and that would be great. But as long as he comes back and it's okay for him, sort of thing, you don't want anybody returning and it's not great. Fully appreciate that. But we've got a defensive head coach, so you sort of feel like you still kind of, it's a given, or the defense should be dominant. And yeah, it sounds a little bit sport fan, I get it, but so I think my money would be on the defense. Anyway, people are like, why have you spoken about that for 5 minutes now? Are we looking at more positives? Or do you want to do?
Go on. What more positives have you got?
No, I think I might have run out now.
Okay.
Generally,
I thought generally the coverage, considering Gonzo wasn't there, the coverage wasn't too bad. I had real bad fears of what Waddle and Hill were going to do to this secondary without Gonzo. They still got some catches. They still got the catches in, but it didn't burn the Pats. I felt where the Pats seemed to get burned or caught out was with mismatches. Achane, I think he had 10 receptions or 10 targets, 8 receptions for 88. Those were the sort of areas where I thought, okay, the Pats have been caught out there more than Hill or Waddle really eating it up all day, as I feared they might.
I didn't like it, and they did. The thing that annoyed me the most was it was exactly the same as the Raiders game, how open they left Bowers, how open the receivers were left. You say that they didn't have major matchups, but is that because Tua was struggling rather than the receivers were struggling? So
possibly, yeah.
I did get very frustrated at the amount of space that I could see around their receivers. As I said, same with the Raiders game, same with Bowers and Mayer. The amount of space around a receiver and how obviously successful it was for the opposition, that did get me frustrated, because it feels like that felt like, didn't we learn from the Raiders? It felt glaringly obvious to me. Now, I'm not a ball knower, so, and then I'm watching this game and they just can't, and the speed, so they can't catch them, and it's just like, as you said, the mismatch as well. The matchups were a mismatch as well, and it was frustrating, because I think it made the defense look worse than the potential. Definitely the potential, but just the amount of space that these guys had was crazy. So much, it was just ridiculous. The wide open gaps, you could fling cats around and everything.
You need to be careful with that if you got jam everywhere.
Really, is that
anything else on the defense?
No, because we're going to have to wrap up, because I've just realised the time.
Right, special teams. Do you want to go first?
No,
do you thumbs up, thumbs down? Where are you on? I know we touched on it. Where are you on Borregales as the kicker? I'm fairly certain he's going to keep his job, but 3 kicks now he's missed.
Well,
it's cost you 5 points.
The game book, so you can see that coach is trying to.
We can get to that in a minute. I've got some thoughts about that.
As soon as I saw it, it was like, oh, is Chudders going to pull this apart? good kickers can win or lose you a game, technically. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those, you drafted him, you've got to give him a chance. Now, how much is difficult? How much rope do you give him before he hangs himself? It's one of those, or if he hangs the team. It's a tricky situation. And it annoys me with kickers when they say, oh, you can just go out in the parking lot and get one. Can you really? Well, teams don't. So why do teams lose with bad kickers then? So, but then I get really defensive, you know me with special teams. He needs to definitely get his head right, or get his foot right, get his leg right, whatever needs to be got right. Because, yeah, missed field goal last game and 2 missed extra points this game. The missed extra points could have cost the game. There is a chance when you look at it that it could have cost the game, and you can't have your kicker costing you the game. However, then on the flip side, people are like, well, kickers can win you the game.
Smashed in a long one,
yeah. But and his placement on kickoffs were great. Other than that one, they were great. You know that he's got it in him because he's made these kicks and he's been placing it. It was nearly the 1 yard line. Some of the kickoffs were great placement for them to have to run it back and stuff like that. But then he's got the mistake. It was a lot of that the whole game though. So and so did this good, but this. So and so did this.
That's fair.
But this. So you're pointing the finger at Borregales, and it's like, well, you kind of we need to point the finger at everybody else as well. So in that aspect, wouldn't you put him in the same bag? And you're giving everybody else a chance, so you've got to give him a chance. I know it's not great. I'm not that naive, thank you very much. I get it. But I'm still, well, here's the kicker that they drafted. Give him a chance to get right. He's got a short leash because he's a kicker, which is very unfortunate. It's one of those positions. It's so glaringly obvious when they do have a bad day, when they don't do their job and things like that. So I'm not ready to be like, yeah, sack him off. But yeah, I also know that he needs to make right too. So yeah, like
just needs some consistency. He smashes in the long distance one, but what should be relatively chip shots, you push wide. That's what's frustrating about it.
Yeah, consistency is really key. Not kind of throwing hot and then cold is totally, consistency is totally the key. Completely.
I agree. He'll keep his job, he'll keep going, but I think it's one to watch, because if he does that every week, if he's costing points every week, then eventually at some point it's going to become a competition, and he may well lose.
Unfortunately,
let's just hope he can tidy it up.
And has made their 53 and did 5 for 5. So we can't be getting our Robo back, unfortunately.
Barringer. He had a long day. He had one massive boot that almost flipped the field. Great kick. He then had one massive boot that outkicked his coverage, and it got returned for a touchdown.
Yeah.
He's got a big boot. It just needs to be managed appropriately and correctly, I think, is the fair way to put that.
Yes.
But then a return for touchdown from Gibson. Got to be happy with that.
Oh, that was funny.
It's game changer, I think. I think that's I've enjoyed watching some.
No, and then yeah, you've got to be kidding me. It was great. It was great.
I've enjoyed watching some reaction videos from Dolphins fans who were buzzing still after their kick return, and while celebrating, then smashing up headphones and things when they realised the Pats have just flipped it back. And we're done for sympathy for all those ones that are watching now, as you said earlier.
I know. Dude, you really need to, if you want to look at the Steelers, you need to, unless we're coming back later in the week to look the Steelers,
right? No, we'll get to the set. So, underrated player of the day, I'm going to give it to. Well, you're giving it to Stevenson. Did you say Hooper? Sorry, beg your pardon. You gave it to Hooper for 3 catches for 38. I'm going to give it to Mike Vrabel, because running down the touchline, that's a visual, and that's the still shots and that have come from that are going to live forever now. They were absolutely brilliant watching him absolutely tear it down the field after them. That's
Wasn't it
what you
Diggs
want
that
to
said
see.
he was really slow though?
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that banter. I like that
and
I like that they
as
feel
well.
comfortable enough to make
Yeah.
those jokes.
Yeah.
That shows a good ball club. That shows a
Yeah.
good team, a good locker room. You feel
Mm.
comfortable enough to make jokes like that, and you're
Yeah.
not going to get chewed out. I like that environment, to be honest.
Do you want to
That
air
entertained me.
your ungraces over the Vrabel giving Borregales the game ball?
So, it's the whole video, and I'm sure
Oh, we
you've
don't have
seen it,
time
and
for a ride.
I'm sure most of our viewers, both of them, have watched the video of the locker room. Now, first thing I'll say is, I think Vrabel's pissed off when Robert comes in and interrupts him and says, "Hey, I'm taking an audible here."
Oh yeah.
I think Vrabel's pissed off that, hang on, I don't mind. Obviously, you're the owner. You do what you want to do. And obviously, it was to honor Mike. And I like that he got a game ball and they made a deal of it. And he's obviously someone who's special to the franchise. He's done it as a player, now he's doing it as a coach. I totally get all that. I think Vrabel looked pissed off that, like, okay, I didn't need this moment to be about me. And I wanted to be giving a message to my team right now.
Mm.
And you've thrown me off my flow. I didn't think he looked very happy about it.
No.
Giving Borregales a ball, let's hope that's what, not Borregales, Barringer a ball.
No, he gave Borregales the ball.
Did you give Borregales?
Yeah, that was my point. That he said that he had faith in him with the field goal.
Sorry,
he never
you're right. You're
wavered
right.
in his
Yeah,
faith in
sorry.
him with the field goal.
You're completely right. I mixed up my kicker and my
wrap up,
punter there.
folks.
Giving him a game ball, I hope that's confidence and that helps to kick him on. That felt a bit like everyone gets a prize here. Like it felt a bit of a sympathy, like, "Ooh, we need to do this." And I don't know. I probably wouldn't have done it. I get the management style, and I hope that pays off. There was another bit. Oh, I know. Right. The bit I hated most about the video was Vrabel has done away with the brewski. Oh yeah. That's what I hated the most about that.
But surely it needs to move because there isn't a guy there to do it, sort of thing.
Yeah, of course there is.
Maybe he feels
he could have done it himself.
Maybe
he's from that locker room where it originated.
Maybe it's a respect thing. He feels like he's respecting Brewski by not compromising it and just diluting it.
So I think no,
it's all about team now, isn't it? It's 3-2-1 team.
It was originally about team. What? No, but so I hate it.
You're running out of time to complain.
The one saving grace on it I could see is because Vrabel was big about removing entitlement. If he wanted and kind of removing old identity and trying to instill new, which is, I'm assuming, genuinely why he's done it. Now, it obviously might not be this year, but I don't know whether you do it if they win a division, maybe. Let's say next year they win a division. Game they win the division. If he goes out there and says, "You've earned something today, boys. You've earned your hats, your t-shirts, but you've earned to bring something back into this locker room," and he reintroduces it because he says, "That's been earned now. You want to be part of the great lore of this franchise. You've earned it today because you've earned another pennant. And as part of it, how do we feel about this? Oh, yeah." Then I would get goosebumps if they do something like that.
So you do have some feelings about something. Okay, good.
Damn right.
Steelers.
Go on then. Let's move on. Steelers. What's your prediction?
Dude, you're the one with the meetings.
What's your prediction?
Patriots 28, Steelers 16.
Wow. I hope you're right, because I hate the Steelers and I hate Rodgers, and this is the ultimate mix of
I hate Rodgers.
foes.
More of than to be honest with you, I can imagine me being quite fired up on this game, particularly for the defense replay, and going to be lots of screaming and shouting. So if you live anywhere near the West Midlands vicinity, you may hear it. Fortunately, it's
like a screaming
game,
banshee. I was fearful because for once in my life, I wanted the Jets to win a game, first game of the season, and beat the Steelers and beat Rodgers. And then when they didn't, and I thought, oh no, are they going to be Steelers and Rodgers going to be good? I really hope not. And then they just looked pants this weekend, so I was pleased with that. Yeah. I do think Pats are going to win this game. I do think it's going to be close, so I'm going to say Pats win 2017. Write that down.
I'm concerned when you've predicted a win, they've lost.
It's going to be. Shall I just predict losses throughout, and maybe we'll go undefeated
please,
next
because
year?
when you predicted a loss, they've won. So now I'm scared. If there's a consistency, I'm not going to let you predict a win again. Just out of yes. There you go.
Go on then. You can wrap, Claire.
So that
go
is
and spread jam through the rest of your house.
Dude, the jam was finished with 8 hours ago, just ages ago, before the prep. So anyway, folks, that is it for another Pat's Procrastination, brought to you by the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel, and only the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel, and plenty in the world are saying thank goodness for that. We wrap up episode 68, folks. Don't forget to tune in next time. Keep your eyes on the YouTube channel. Maybe if you subscribe, you won't have to worry about that. We'll be back next week, folks, and as always, go Pats.
LFG.